Well, my name is Shaun Humphries, and I'm the founder of Humphries Wealth Group, and we're with Asante Wealth Management here in Canada. Asante is the largest independent wealth management firm in Canada. We have about 1,000 advisors across the country. We service about 300,000 families, and we have about 200 branches across Canada as well. So as a firm, we help Canadian families plan their finances and help them navigate major life transitions. Probably the biggest one would be retirement planning, helping our clients navigate that, business owners selling businesses and navigating that transition. Oftentimes helping clients with estate and legacy planning as well. And although those are the core areas, the main thing that we do is try to lead with an overall plan that's integrated. So not just looking at that specific area like legacy planning or retirement planning, but taking into account tax planning, investment planning, cash flow planning where appropriate. So that's essentially what we do. We've been doing it for, Humphries Wealth Group's been doing it for over 30 years, which I can't believe. It seems like yesterday that I started my practice. And we've literally helped hundreds and hundreds of families navigate life transitions financially. Well, in terms of how I heard about IJM, I probably have to credit my wife, Tanya. So Tanya's really passionate about certain organizations. It started with Compassion Canada, so our family's been, but she continues to be a sponsor of some children. And then quietly behind the scenes, I know she started giving to IJM, and I'm not sure exactly how she came upon the message. It might have been a talk at church or some of their contacts, but she was very passionate about it. So that's what drew me into it. And then through David with IJM locally, we had a chance to connect with him as well. And the whole idea of IJM really resonated with both of us, both Tanya and I, but I walked away and I thought, what a practical way of having an impact. You give dollars to different organizations, and that's all good, but it was a very targeted, focused area where we knew that our dollars would be going in a direction that really facilitated the work of justice around the world, whether it's getting people out of slavery conditions in terms of work slavery, injustices in the legal system not functioning properly. And one of the ironic things that I heard, you think in these areas where people are suffering huge injustices, that there isn't the legal framework or the legislation or laws to protect them, and you find out there is. They're just not being enforced for various reasons. Well, that's a good question. I mean, it's been a bit of an evolution for us as a company. I mean, corporately, our company's been involved in various causes. There's probably less of that going on at a national level. We've always been open. Our clients approach us often to give donations to various causes, but increasingly, I've wanted us to take a little more initiative around giving to various causes. It's a difficult thing because on one hand, as a business, I don't think we necessarily want to be, flashing those causes all the time. I mean, we have a specific role for our clients. They ask us to provide financial services advice, that kind of thing. But at the same time, we do have a responsibility to give back. And when I reflected on IJM particularly, we would have no clients that would push back against the idea of fighting injustice around the world. Whether it's the criminal justice system, the rule of law, slavery, those are all really important issues. So even though IJM resonates with me personally, very much so in terms of my personal faith, they have a mandate that's much broader than Shaun Humphries or Humphries Wealth Group. And I think for us to be attached to that, it just says that we want to, in our own small way, to give back and have an impact on the world, not just in our local community, but on the global community as well. And IJM's doing that in spades. So, I think that's one of the main reasons we're involved. Well, I think that one of the things that really profoundly impacted me is I actually read a book that the founder of IJM had written. And what came across very strongly for me was the importance of aftercare. Whatever program they were involved in, it wasn't just swooping in and going through the criminal justice system and getting a conviction. I mean, that's just the beginning of the story. The story really was, how are they supporting those victims to come out of that abuse and to eventually become fully functioning people who had gone through horrific things. So you realize very quickly that aftercare is critical. It's ongoing. You could have victims of sexual abuse or cyber, sex abuse that would need help for years and years. And so there's significant costs around that. And yet that's what you want to have happen at the end of the day, is that those people are transformed and they get the support they need, whether it's education, schooling, work opportunities, and just a protective place to grow and to be transformed. So I think the aftercare program and the funding for that is absolutely critical. That first piece of rescuing people, that's amazingly important. The aftercare is just critical.